What is CBD? A lot of firefighters and first responders talk amongst each other about what this is. They've maybe done some research. Maybe you've done some research. And I think the question is coming up more and more, only because it's legal in all 50 states now, and we're starting to question why we don't use it prominently. So I wanted to get to the basics. I'm John. I'm the founder of Rescue One CBD, and I'm also a full-time firefighter paramedic in South Florida. CBD is just a compound that's extracted from a hemp plant, not from the marijuana plant, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's one of many compounds in a family of compounds called cannabinoids. The other very infamous cannabinoid is THC. And it's extracted, and it can be placed in a powder to be put in food or beverage. It can be placed in an oil to be taken underneath the tongue. It can be placed in a gummy, that way you can eat it. And or it could be placed in vape, and people inhale it that way. We only place it in oil for sublingual use under the tongue. It's a good combination of safe and effective. And you'll see a ton of delivery methods, but the most important thing to understand is that CBD is just a molecule by itself, and it can be put in stuff that you can take, like oil, for example, which is what we use. We use it in a sublingual oil. So CBD oil is CBD in oil. A CBD gummy would be just the CBD molecule put in a gummy, and so on and so forth. It's important to know that CBD does not cause an intoxicating effect. It doesn't make you feel high. It does not cause a failed drug test. The metabolites of THC, the other cannabinoid that's very prominent in a cannabis plant, is what causes the intoxicating feeling or the feeling of being high. That's what causes a failed drug test. It's safe to take CBD during the day. A lot of people take it at work. It does not cause grogginess, except for a very small percentage of people that experience that side effect as a negative. It's not supposed to make you feel tired. What some of the benefits are, we can talk about it a little bit, but to go in depth, it's better if you watch some of our other content. CBD is an anti-inflammatory, and it balances a bunch of hormones in your body that can regulate things like your serotonin, your cortisol for stress and inflammation, and it also promotes good sleep. So a lot of people try to tout this thing as some kind of miracle molecule that can cure and treat and do all these things, and it does not. It's not a cure, and it's not a treatment. Obviously, the FDA disclaimer is none of these statements have been evaluated by the FDA, and it's not intended to treat or cure or prevent any kind of disease. We just talk about what the research says, and research shows that it's a good anti-inflammatory, that it raises levels of serotonin and can balance them naturally, that it can lower levels of cortisol, balance them naturally, and that it does have some research to say that it improves REM sleep, and it can in fact help with your mood. So people take it for anxiety and depression because it has that effect on serotonin. So with all these things in mind, it being this natural thing that can balance all these really great hormones in your body and help you get better sleep and reduce inflammation. You don't need a prescription for it, and it's non-addictive, it's non-habit forming, and you do not have withdrawal symptoms when you stop taking it. It's like a no-brainer. How is this not a huge game changer for the fire service? One, we don't understand it well enough, so thank you so much for watching this video. So share it around. And two, we just don't talk about it enough, because I think everyone thinks that you'll fail a drug test if you're taking CBD. And that's not the case. You'll fail a drug test if THC is present in your CBD. So it's very important to look at lab tests with every batch, which is what we do, and that those lab tests test down to parts per million, which is a very small amount. There's not a lot of good, reliable equipment out there that can test that low. We make sure that we get our lab tests to get to that level so that you can ensure that it's 0 parts per million of THC. That means there's 3 zeros after the decimal point, 0.000% THC. Not just 0.0% THC. There's way too much margin for error in that number. You need to see 0.000%, otherwise it's not a reliable product. So without trying to make it a sales pitch, I'm looking out for all the first responders out there that are taking CBD products. Just make sure that whatever CBD product you use, that you see that that lab test is consistently at that level and that it's up to date. So that's really it. CBD is just one of many molecules in there. It's in a family called cannabinoids. There are other cannabinoids in hemp and marijuana, like CBN, CBG, CBC. Those are considered minor cannabinoids. The two prominent ones are CBD and THC. Hemp and marijuana are two different plants. They are both from the species cannabis, but that doesn't mean that they are the exact same, especially with the federal government. Any cannabis plant that has more than 0.3% THC by weight is considered marijuana. Anything that has 0.3% or less is considered hemp. They all stem off of the cannabis sativa strain, but that doesn't exclude, all the other species or all the strains like cannabis indica and cannabis ruderalis. So it doesn't matter as much as what strain it is, since they all consider to be the root of cannabis sativa. The THC content is what matters. So if it's 0.31% THC by weight in your CBD oil, then it's considered marijuana. Meaning, if you had 1,000 milligrams of CBD oil, it can't have any more than 3 milligrams of THC in it. That would be 0.3% by weight. So if there are any other questions on that, or if you guys have any other questions about CBD in general, you can always reach out to us, support@rescue1, that's the number 1, cbd.com. You can message us on our social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook. We're very responsive on there. You can watch more of our content. We have a lot of stuff on YouTube. We have the podcast that you can sign up for, and you can get a lot more information on that. We also write a lot of articles, so a lot of this can be in written form on our website if you just go over to our blog. So that's it. Please follow us to check more stuff out like this. If you found it helpful, share it around the firehouse. We definitely need to talk about this stuff more. So thank you for watching this. Take care of each other and be safe out there.